Hello student, keep your notebook, pen, pencil, book ready because we are going to start with our topic. I am Kadambini Balakrishna Patil, teacher in mathematics, presently working with Deccan Education Societies, Willingdon College, Sangli. What was our topic which we are started with? That is indefinite integral. Okay, and we are finished with our exercise 3.2c. That means we are finished with our 4 exercises from this topic, and for new concept we'll move towards our PowerPoint presentation. So what is our new concept? New concept is integration by parts. What do you mean by integration by parts? First of all, you must know what is part. Part means what you are able to do partially. So what is partially you are doing? You are doing integration. Why you are doing integration in parts? That means you are not able to integrate directly whatever we have. So where you are doing a parts? Whenever you are having product, okay, whenever you are having product of functions. What is the function? Function means it is the relation between known and unknown variables. What is that? Means depend and independent, you can say. So x is depend variable or y is depend variable. It depends upon what you are talking about. Now if it is velocity, you know that it depends upon time. Okay, so there is no x, no y. We are having velocity, we are having time, but we know that velocity, in velocity also it depends upon, that means distance is depend upon time. Okay, distance is depend upon time, that is in velocity. So they are related to each other, such type of. But if you'll take a product of two functions, it may be possible that you will have fx upon gx, but in this also you are able to write fx into 1 upon gx. So it is again a product. But in this type of examples, you are not able to substitute. Then what to do? Then there is a method which is called as integration by parts. That means you are able to integrate this partially. Partially means once you integrate one function, and other time you have to integrate other function, but there is a rule for it. That rule we'll see here. So what is the rule for it? That is nothing but in this part we are having this method is useful when the integrand, I told you many times, whatever is the function inside the integral sign, it is called as integrand. So this is integrand, whatever you are having. Integrand is expressed as product of two different type of functions. Okay, now if it is the product of two different functions, what type of these functions are? One of which can be differentiated and other can be integrated conveniently. Conveniently, this word is very important. Why conveniently? Because you are having product of two functions, fx and gx. Sometimes it is difficult to differentiate gx, and sometimes it is difficult to differentiate fx. So it depends upon. So you judge which one is easy to integrate and which one is easy to differentiate. So that means you need to identify that which one is easy, or you can conveniently differentiable, directly differentiable, and one is directly integrable. That means these two functions are related to, one variable. This is important key here. And one of it is differentiable. Actually both are differentiable functions, both are integrable function, but this word is important in product. This function separately if you will take, it is differentiable. This function separately if you will take, that is integrable. But when you are having a product, you know that which one is convenient, or you can say easily integrable and easily differentiable. Then select one as a integrable function, other as a differentiable function. Then only this method is possible. Okay, so for that, what is the next thing we require? We require that the following theorem gives you the rules of integration by parts. So first we need a rule. What is the rule? Rule means theorem. Theorem is if u and v, now instead of fx and gx, we are using another variable for the theorem which you are using throughout now. So if u and v, two differentiable functions of x, means normally we write this as ux and vx. So every time in theorem to carry ux and vx, instead of that we'll write uv and we'll say that they are differentiable functions of x. Look at here. Both the functions are differentiable, means both the functions are integrable also. That is the meaning of this statement. Okay, this is a statement you are already studied in logic, that whenever you are having a theorem, they are statements. Statement means it is a fact which you cannot change. Okay, so we'll start with that. Integrable of u into v. Now look at here, this is a product. Dx equal to, dx means it is a function of x. Okay, so therefore always you are with respect to x. If u and v are functions of y, then you will get integral of u into v dy. So it depends which variable. Here we are having our variable, that variable is x. So don't forget, integration of u into v dx means ux into vx. Normally we write uv, that I am telling you again and again. Don't ask the questions where x is gone. X is with that function only. So u into integral of v dx minus integral of, look at here, one function is differentiable, other function is integrable. So again we'll take a product of that and you have to integrate it again. This is actually statement of the theorem. We'll prove this theorem so that you will come to the conclusion that why this is. Okay, so we'll start with our proof. So in this proof, now look at here, when you are having integration of u into v dx, this is a statement. So don't forget to write the statement. U into integration of v dx minus integration of du by dx. That means you are differentiating u. Then you are integrating v with respect to x, and for this product again you need to integrate. That is called as your partial fraction, or you can say partly integrable. Partly integrable. So here you are having two functions, out of which you need to select one as a differentiable, one as a integrable. Here we are selected from the statement that v function is integrable. So let assume that your integration of v dx equal to w, that you will get some value or some function w of x. Okay, so once if you will get this value, your theorem says that, or you can say your definition says that v equal to dw by dx, because it is an antiderivative. So what you will get? You will get v equal to dw by dx. So by theorem, or you can say by definition, integration of v dx equal to w. Okay, so we come across this one. Now what is next? Next that we'll consider the derivative first. Product of two functions. What are the two functions? U and w will take. So in derivative of u and w, as usual you are already studied this differentiation. U into derivative of w plus w into derivative of u. Okay, now you got this derivative as it is. So we'll write what is dw by dx. Dw by dx, from this equation you are able to write as v. That we'll write here. So what you will get, this is nothing but u into v plus w into du by dx. Okay, now you got d by dx of, this is a complete bracket. Okay, so don't forget that this is a bracket. So this gives you d by dx of u into w. Now what we'll use? We'll use our definition. So what is the integration definition? Definition we'll use here itself. So what is the definition here? Definition says that, look at here, you are having a derivative. So as in 1 and 2, So what is 1 and 2? If you are having derivative, you say that integral of v. So here also this is nothing but integral of this one. So by that definition, what we'll do? We'll do that uv as it is. And this side, this complete inside the integral sign, that is uv plus w du by dx into dx. Now we'll separate the terms. We need to separate it. So if you'll separate out, you'll get integration of uv dx plus integration of w du by dx into dx. Now this is a product. Into dx is, that is integrable sign. Here also integral of u into v dx. Now w value will substitute from here. That is nothing but it is integral of. So you will get, now w value we are substituting for both the sides. Here it is w. So you are able to write this w as integration of v dx equal to integration of u into v dx. Integral of du by dx I will write, and this is w. So that w again I will write as integration of v. So this is nothing but integration of v. So I'll shift this term to this side. So what will happen, before writing this step, I'll come to the conclusion. Okay, so if you'll shift this side, you know that u into integral of v dx, now I'm taking this side, so minus integral of du by dx, and now I'll replace this w as integration of v dx. Okay, and I am having, this is integrable dx is equal to integral of uv dx. Now look at here. This is nothing but, again, whatever is the statement of the theorem, that is integral of u into v dx is equal to u into integral v dx minus, first you need a derivative of u and integration of v inside the integral sign, separately differentiate, integrate, and again you need to integrate it. Now, that is the statement of your theorem. So what you will write now finally? Finally you will write integration of u into v dx equal to u into integral of v dx minus integral of du by dx integral of v dx into dx. Okay, so this is called as integration by parts. So what way I will explain this? That is, you are having integration u into v dx. Now you are selected this as differentiable function. So in this differentiable function, you will take u dash. U dash means what? Derivative. So for this u dash, you are not doing any change when you are selecting for the integrable function. So you will have v dx as it is because you are selected that as an integrable function. And here also you will have integration of v dx and integration of this minus. This way your theorem is. This way you need to explain, and I took that only by two different colors. That is integration of v dx, you are taking both the sides with no change. But when you are selecting a function which is differentiable, first you have to keep this as it is, and in the second you can take term, you have to take the derivative of it, and then you need to integrate. This is actually your theorem, and this is very important theorem of our part, which is integration. So now integration, this is your formula. This will write in short because that short form I have already given to you as a u dash. So it will be easy to write. So in short we'll write that as u integral v dx minus integral u dash integral v dx dx. Okay, now how to select? How to select first function? Normally we call this as first function, this as second function. How to select first function? And there is one rule, not necessary to follow this order. Sometimes this order will not be followed for anything, because sometimes there are different examples. We'll see that and you will come to conclusion also. But in many examples you have to follow this rule, that is called as LIATE. What is LIATE? L means logarithmic function. In that order, you have to select your first function. That means if it is a combination of logarithmic and inverse trigonometric function, you select logarithmic function as U and inverse function as V. So this is the order. Okay, so the first function to be selected will be the one which comes the first in this order. That I have explained here. So first, if it is logarithmic function, I means inverse trigonometric function, then you are having A, that is algebraic function, T, trigonometric. Look at here, inverse trigonometric and trigonometric. If it is a combination of inverse trigo and trigonometric function, this will become U and this will become V. So in this order, so any combination will be there. You have to select in this order. So what will be the last one? That is exponential function. So if it is a combination of algebraic and exponential function, so you are able to write this as U and this as V. This is the meaning of this rule. That is, the first function to be selected will be the one which comes first in the order of LIATE. Okay, so you are able to select by your choice also. If by observation you will solve more examples, by observation also you are able to select which one is your first function and which one is your second function. So we'll start with that. Some standard integral means onwards we'll use this like a formula. So in that, your first function is integral root of a square minus x square dx. Directly you are not able to write this function as it is in previous formulas, because this root sign is not in the denominator, it is for the numerator. So what we'll do, we'll take into 1. Okay, you are having only one function, that is root of a square minus x square into 1 dx. Now you are not able to select one as differentiable function. So this function will be V, because if you will differentiate this, look at here. In the second part, what is our UV rule? UV rule says that first you will select U as it is, integration of V dx minus U dash into integration of V dx and dx. So if you will select this as U, derivative of U is 0. So this term will be vanished, no use of integrating. So this way you start thinking, that means this one is nothing but your integrable function. So here itself only keep in mind, if it is a product of the two functions and if your one function is constant, always take constant function as integrable function. Okay, so we'll start with that. So what is our next? Next is nothing but we are choose our which one is U and which one is V. That means this is U and this one is V. I told you as it is. So now we'll use our formula. U into integrable of, look at here, U into integrable of V dx minus integrable of U dash integrable of V and integration of both, product of that. So we'll start with that. U as it is, integration of 1 dx minus integration of derivative of root of a square minus x square into, here is the product sign actually. Don't forget this is a product sign, dx of dx. Okay, so you will get this differentiation. So what value you will get? You will get this as integration of 1 dx is x. It is out of the root sign. This one is one function, this is another function. Now integration of derivative of root, that is 1 upon 2 root, and now inner derivative, that is a square is constant, so 0, and you will get minus 2x, and integration of 1 dx is x. So the simplification says that this is root a square minus x square into x. Now here this 2 and 2 will get cancelled. This minus minus, look at here, minus minus is plus here. Integration of x into x is x square upon root of a square minus x square dx. Now as it is not integrable, but we need some adjustment so that it will get cancelled. So we'll add and subtract a square. So it will be simplified. So what way we'll write this as? We'll write this as, look at here. So that is your next step. So here you are having first term as it is. Now it is simplified only. So here you add and subtract a square. So you are having x square. So if you'll add a square minus a square, but we want, look at the denominator, we want a square minus x square. So what I will do, I will write a square as it is. Then I will change as this is a addition, and I will take negative sign common so that it becomes a square minus x square. So that term is adjustable here. So this is workout. How you got a square minus x square. Okay. So you will get this term and there is no change as such. So we'll begin with that, means we need to separate out the terms. A square upon root of a square minus x square minus a square minus x square upon root of a square minus x square dx. Now next term is nothing but separation. So what your separation says that this is x into root of a square minus x square plus a square into, because a square is constant, that you are able to take outside the integral sign, 1 upon root of a square minus x square dx. Okay, here you are having formula. And this is minus, look at here. So what will be the term? The first term as it is, that is nothing but I will write here itself. So this is nothing but x into root of a square minus x square. So this is my first term. Here I will get a square into integral of 1 upon root of a square minus x square, and I am able to write this as, this is nothing but the root and its square. So I will get this as minus root of a square minus x square bracket square upon root of a square minus x square dx. So one root will get cancelled and so you are getting this term. Okay, so this gives you the simplification, that is x into root of a square minus x square plus a square integral 1 upon root of a square minus x square dx minus integral root of a square minus x square dx. Now look at here. This is nothing but the I with which we are started. Okay, so we come across again whatever is the given. So here is I equal to x root of a square minus x square plus a square integral 1 upon root of a square minus x square dx, and this is nothing but the I which is given to you. So we'll write I there. So shift this I to this side. You will get I plus I. So this is I plus I equal to the first term x into root of a square minus x square plus a square. This is a formula. This is nothing but sine inverse x by a plus constant of integration. And what you will get here? You will get here, this is a formula. Okay, always remember the formula properly. So this is integral 1 upon root of a square minus x square dx equal to sine inverse x by a plus constant of integration. You have to write this formula again and again. Now look at here, now you got this value I, because I plus I is 2I equal to, by the previous step, x into root of a square minus x square plus a square sine inverse of x by a plus constant of integration. Now take 2 to this side. So if you take divide by 2, that means, so you will get I equal to, this is x by 2 root of a square minus x square. Here you will get a square by 2 sine inverse of x upon a plus constant of integration. As usual, this becomes 2. So you are able to write the capital C for that, because you need to divide, and that is again your value. So we'll write our expression as it is. So what is our expression? Our expression says that integral of root of a square minus x square equal to x by 2 root of a square minus x square plus a square upon 2 sine inverse x by a plus constant of integration. Hence, now look at the example. We'll take the example as it is. So what is the example? Example says that integral root of 9 minus x square dx equal to, that means directly this formula we are using. Not necessary to simplify. X by 2. Here is x, so you are able to write x by 2. The term which is here is same here. 9 by 2 means a square. So complete constant here, a square by 2. Sine inverse of x upon a. This is nothing but actually you are able to write this as 3 square minus x square. Means a value is 3. So you will get x upon 3 plus constant of integration. Okay. So you are able to take more examples here. Integration of root of 7 minus x square will also work. Okay. 7 minus x square dx. So how it will work? It will work like this is integrable of root 7 square minus x square dx. So what you are able to write this as from our formula x upon 2. Okay. Root term as it is. That means whatever is given, that is as it is, plus a square means whatever you are having, that is 7 upon 2 sine inverse of x by a. A value is here root 7 plus constant of integration. Okay, so here you are able to write. Anyways, one more example I will take which explains you, like if you are having a formula like integration of if there is a multiple of x square. So you will have here 5 minus 3x square dx. What will happen? You take 3 outside. That means take 3 common. You will get this as integration of 3. If you will take, it becomes 5 upon 3 minus x square. Look at here, dx. And as usual you are able to write this as, this is nothing but integral of root 3 root of 5 upon 3 minus x square dx. And this root 3 is constant, so you are able to take that outside the integral sign, that is root of 3 integral of root of 5 upon 3 minus x square dx. So anyways, what you will get, root 3 as it is. Now integral of root 5 upon 3 square minus x square dx. Now your formula. What is your formula? Root 3 is outside the bracket. You will get x by 2 bracket as it is, that is root of 5 upon 3 minus x square. Okay, plus a square. What is a square? That is 5 upon 3 divided by 2 sine inverse of x upon root 5 upon root 3 plus constant of integration. So here we got this value. So root 3 as it is, and this becomes 5 upon 6. So you will get this as final answer. Look at the final answer. I will use another color to show you final answer. So your final answer is root of 3. Okay. Inside the bracket, it is x upon 2. Now if you will take the LCM, it becomes root of 5 minus 3x square upon root 3. Okay. Now here you are having plus 5 upon 6. And here you are able to write as sine inverse of, this root 3 goes to the numerator, root 3x upon root 5 plus constant of integration. Okay, this is your final answer. So this way you are able to use this formula. We'll stop here. We'll continue in the next lecture. Thank you. Students, we saw our theorem which is based on integration by parts. We saw what is parts and how you are able to partially integrate. Integration by parts means you have to integrate in 2 parts. Okay. So that is only depend upon when the function is a variable of, or you can relate it to one variable x, and you are integrating a product. And there is one rule how to select the first function and second function. Okay. So I think you are able to understand what is this integration is. We'll meet in next lecture. Thank you.